Senator Elizabeth Warren on Sunday said she is, quote, very worried the Federal Reserve's moves to fight inflation will, quote, tip the economy into recession. Her comments came after Fed Chair Jerome Powell warned economic growth will slow as the central bank tries to combat inflation by raising interest rates. During Monday's White House press briefing, Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre was asked if President Biden agrees with Warren's view. The press secretary said Biden, quote, gives the Federal Reserve their independence to make the monetary decision on how to deal with inflation.
On the Federal Reserve, Elizabeth Warren has said that she's concerned that if the Fed raises rates again, that it could put people out of work or tip the economy into a recession. Does the president share any of those concerns about an overreach or possible overreach?
So, as you know, we've been very clear when it comes to the president's plan on attacking inflation. He has said many times that he gives the Federal Reserve their independence to make the monetary decision on how to deal with inflation. That is something that, again, we give their independence. We believe they have the strongest tools to deal with that. But we know that Americans are feeling the pain of higher costs, higher prices. That's why we have worked so hard to bring down gas prices. We've seen for 76 days gas prices have gone down. It is the fastest decline, as you've heard us say, than in over a decade. And so that is important. That's why the Inflation Reduction Act was so critical in dealing with, that's going to deal with lowering costs, that's going to deal with that $300 billion, going to deal with reducing the deficit, which is important, which is now that $1.7 trillion deficit that we have seen under this president in the past 19 months. 380 billion was done last year. And so this is important as well. It's important for the president, but he's going to continue to do the work. But we want to say a couple of things that we wanted to share is, like, you saw the new data on Friday that showed prices came down nationwide last month and personal income went up. So that is a sign of inflation that is easing. And latest headline CPI inflation was flat. Prices in the aggregate had no increase versus the prior month. And this morning we learned, and yesterday morning, Friday morning, we learned that consumer sentiment is up 13% since July, and one-year inflation expectation dropped nearly 0.5% from the month before. We have more work to do. We understand that. We know that there are families and Americans who are still feeling the pain, and we're going to continue to do the work to do.
Disagree with Senator Warren?
Well, we're just saying that this is something that the Federal Reserve is going to, we don't want to step on, what the Federal Reserve is going to do. Our goal is to keep bringing down inflation without sacrificing the historic and life-changing economic gains that we have seen this country has made over the last 18 months. And, as Powell also said, the economy continues to show strong underlying momentum. We have regained all of the jobs lost during the pandemic. And if you look at the labor market, consumers are spending, as I said, what businesses are investing, and what American industry is producing. You continue to see the resiliency in our economy, and that's what matters.
Thanks, Karine.